All right, we are at it. The top 10 films of 2022. And let's just say there's a lot of good ones. Let's get it started. All right, Chase Lehocky here with the Blue Futon, and let's get in the top 10. However, I'll be forewarned, I still haven't seen every single Oscar movie. For example, I haven't seen Tar, I haven't seen Women Talking, or I haven't seen The Whale. So if those are not on my list, that is why you will not see it. All right, for number 10 is Everything Everywhere All at Once. So I like this movie. I really do. And that is still why it's my top 10. It was like number 2 or 3, but it is dropping every time I think about it. So after this list, it could drop. But something about this film, I think the first hour is fantastic. When it gets to the bagel scene of like open, look at that. That's to me where it goes downhill. It was a little bit too bonkers for me with, the trophy as a butt plug, with the raccoon, with the hot dog fingers, even though the hot dog fingers was before the hour mark. But I understand what they're going for, the different universes, but it went too convoluted for me. But I still can't deny the craftsmanship, the editing, the acting, everything that happens in this movie is fantastic. But like I said, it's one of the movies where I can appreciate, I really enjoy it. However, the more I think about it, the more it does kind of go down in the list. Number 9, a lot of people are putting RRR on their list. I understand. I watched that multiple times. But this Indian movie, I watched multiple times too, but I enjoyed it way more. Vikram. Something about this movie, it just had more engaging characters in my opinion. The camera movement of the new robotic arm, fantastic. I enjoyed where these character arcs were going to go. I wanted to know where these bad guys were going to go, where these cops are going to go. I'm so invested in this story that I am just begging for the third movie to come out now. I need to know what happens in this story. It is so good, so crisp, so entertaining. And the 2 hours and 30 minutes, I think this is the Indian movie where when I was done with it, I was like, whoa, that was the quickest Indian movie I think I ever watched, because I didn't feel the runtime on Vikram at all. Number 8 is Elvis. Baz Luhrmann Elvis. Austin Butler. I grew up Elvis. I grew up with Donny Osmond. Yes. So maybe some bias there. But rewatching this film and how it's edited, how it's acted, how the story is told, yes, it is not the most truthful story of Elvis, especially during the Christmas special and then doing his activism with Elvis in the background. Yes, I understand there's creative liberties galore in this film. However, I still enjoyed what was on screen. This 2.5 hour movie, again, went by super, super quick. And I was just so entertained. Like the transition, the costume design, the singing. I was entertained through and throughout. And my goodness, Elvis deserves to get an Oscar nomination for top 10, in my opinion. Number 7 for 2022 is another movie I think that came out of a film festival that no one is talking about. Broker. This is a Japanese directed film with Korean actors. It was kind of a mix of Japanese and Korean. Oh my goodness. This is a heartfelt story, and it makes you think. This is a movie where I watched multiple times, and I'm just thinking about the story through and throughout. Like, what would I do? I understand the dilemma these people are going for, like with orphanages and mothers and their children. And it just makes you think. It really does, of like what they're doing can be considered human trafficking, but they're not doing it for like they're doing it bad. They're getting money for sure, but they're trying to give these kids a better life than living in an orphanage without a family. So when a movie has this much dilemma and this much of you thinking about what would I do and still like have the heart to do it, I think Broker should be talked about way more, but unfortunately it isn't. Number 6. Okay, this is a weird one. I'm biased for this one. I loved growing up Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So when I heard The Lonely Island was basically doing Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers, I had my timeout moment. But when watching this is the movie where I had a smile on my face the entire freaking time. I mean, oh my goodness, I had a blast with this film. Something about it, I was laughing, I was crying, I was enjoying all the Easter eggs. This is a movie I watched multiple times, like, I like that Easter egg, I like that Easter egg. This is Disney's best movie of the year, hands down. And this is one that should have went to theaters. Not Lightyear, not Strange World. Chippendales Rescue Rangers should have went into theaters. That's all I'm going to say. I love this film. It was funny. It was heartwarming. I loved it. Bias alert. Don't care. But how they did the animation, how they brought in Sonic, it was just too freaking perfect. And I'm surprised how many Netflix films are in the top 10. And this one is Apollo 10.5. Now you guys are thinking, wait a minute. This is number 5, and this is not going to be your number 1 winner for Oscar. Something about Marcel, though, should win the Oscar just for how unique and fun it is. But when just enjoyment factor, Apollo 10.5 should be nominated for an Oscar for animated feature. Richard Linklater, Jack Black do a fantastic job with this. Just like Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, this movie I had a smile through in and throughout with the story. I love just the flashbacks. Even though I wasn't even born in the 70s, it just felt like I deserved to be there. Or the 60s. Yeah, this is 60s and 70s. Sorry about that. Yeah, 70s. What am I talking about? 60s. I felt like I wanted to be in Houston. If a movie does that, and it's an animated film, and I'm like, I want to be there. I want to be in Houston, Texas, right now in the 60s. Richard Linklater did it, and I love Apollo 10.5 for that reason. All right, number 4. All Quiet on the Western Fronts. To me, this is the best international feature of 2022. And to me, I would put this in Best Picture of the Year. Would it win? No, but it should win international for sure. It is gritty. It is messed up. The story itself is just like so anti-war of like, yeah, let's go to war, but then you don't realize what war is. It's that great quote that people that want to go to war has never experienced war. That's so true, and this is that movie. The score. Some people don't like the score. I love the overbearingness of the score where it's just like, bong. Then it'll be like 10 seconds. Bong. It was chilling, haunting, and I love this film. Great movie. And that is Netflix's number 1 movie of the year, in my opinion. Number 3, Top Gun Maverick. It does everything right. It does everything a sequel should. Fantastic. And just knowing what is going to be nominated for Best Picture for the Oscars, technically, I do think Top Gun Maverick should be the winner of 2022. It's heartfelt, great acting, great story, great action. I mean, does a fantastic job. You can barely tell where the CGI is, which you kind of do know where the CGI is when explosions happen with the sky. But, like I said, Top Gun Maverick, it is a crowd pleaser. Unfortunately, I think Avatar is going to beat it internationally with the box office. Well, it doesn't help that, Avatar had a lot more theaters, in China and stuff like that to help Avatar. But at least it's going to be the number 1 movie in 2022 for domestically, and it should stay that way. And yeah, Top Gun Maverick, that's all. Everyone knows about it. But what else am I going to say about it? Number 2 is a movie that came out of Sundance that has stuck with me. Something in the Dirt. I can't... These... These movies where it's a mystery, and it's mystery in a room, and you don't know what's happening, sucks me in. Something in the Dirt sucked me in. It had me thinking about this movie for months after watching this film. I think it finally came out on DVD or digital in November, so it took a while to get there. But Something in the Dirt sucked me in. I love the premise of being in this apartment complex and trying to figure out what is going on. Is something in the dirt? What's on this random place in California? What about this random hotel? This random apartment? I don't know. This movie just sucked me in. I'm a sucker for these type of what the fuck is going on type of movies. And this one does a fantastic job. Now, number 1 is an horribly mismanaged. 13 Lives is my number 1 movie of 2022. Colin Farrell, Virgil Morrison, Joe Egerton, directed by Ron Howard. This movie is amazing. How does not get sound design at the Oscars? No idea. But it's getting on the short list for visual effects. This movie sucked me in. I wanted to know what was happening. This is a movie about survival and what these people are willing to do to save 13 kids. And everyone survives. This movie, some people are like, oh, but it's a mid movie. I don't care. Me watching this, I needed that in my life. In August, I don't know what it was, but I watched it on Amazon Prime. I wish I saw this in theaters, even though it didn't get released in theaters where I was at. I was sucked in. I never had an experience like this of the claustrophobia of going through the caverns. I love how Ron Howard decided to put the map on the side to see where these divers had to go. This is a story about humans, human hearts, human survival, and just a feel-good movie. And I needed a feel-good movie like this, a true story. And my God, it needed more love. To me, 13 Lives was such a good movie. And if it was getting nominated for an Oscar for Best Picture, to me, 13 Lives is the best movie of 2022, bar none. To me, not a lot of movies come close to to me, I was like, because, the top 10, a lot of things fluctuate. But for me, 13 Lives, I'm like, I can't justify any other movie being better than 13 Lives. I just can't this year. That is my top 10 of 2022. Some surprises probably that a lot of people don't have on their list, and of course a couple that are on their list. Chase Talk with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think is Bhutontopia. You Blue Futonians, thank you for watching. Have a great day, and thank you for watching. It does mean the world to me. And you know what? Let me know what you think your top 10 were, and if any of mine were just cray-cray. Some of them are pretty cray-cray.